once you've got over the headache of installing DAZ and got it working, you'll be presented with a screen possibly similar to this. It might look a little bit different. Don't panic if it doesn't look exactly the same. Just again, let me just drag this out of the way. Put that down in the corner so you can't see it, but I can. So I think the easiest way to get your scene set up and then remember your settings and that going forward is to set yourself up basically with an empty scene to use as a template. So that's what we're going to do first off. Then we can just reopen it each time and resave it with a different name. Similar to what you might do with Photoshop already. So what we're going to do is on the render settings tab down the side here, we're on general. I have my dimension preset at custom. I play around with the pixel size. Don't want it too big. So I had a render that took ages, hours and hours upon hours, and couldn't work out why until I came back to this screen and discovered the pixel size was like 10,000. So it was huge. I do my aspect ratio either 9:6. This is if I'm doing a whole wrap cover. So basically the background for a cover, I want it to be this size. But for this tutorial, I only want it to be basically for the model that I'm going to put on a cover. So I'm going to change these around from 6 to 9. So that way I'm not going to blow it out too big and be rendering nothing in the background and my model. This roughly looks like the front cover, so I know that I need to fit within this scope. I don't mess with anything else in here. I just leave it. Just ignore, this will probably be empty on yours, but it's pulling through the information that I was just working on, so it's pre-populated in there. The only thing I recommend you do here where it says auto headlamp is to click on that and select never, because that can mess up your lighting. The next thing you want to go to is a couple of steps down to progressive render. Maybe write these down. I actually have a notebook with all my DAZ notes and whatnot in here because I can't remember stuff. So minimum update samples is 1, update interval is 5, minimum samples, I can't speak today, is 5. Max samples is 15,000, maximum time is 0, rendering quality enable on. Rendering quality, you might want to drop this down to start off with at 2. Whoops, too far. At 2. Don't need it to go too much higher. Sometimes I do it at 2, sometimes I do it at 3. And rendering converged ratio 98%. I don't go any higher than 98. I think the default it'll come through at about 95. So I just hit the plus button, and then post SSIM is off. Okay, and I pretty much leave that. That's exactly the same for every single render that I do, other than this ratio one. Sorry, not ratio, the quality. I might beef that up to 3. If I find that there are little fireflies or something like that, like little white bits poking through from the render, like it's a little bit fuzzy, then I might mess around with that. But ordinarily, this should get you through. Then what we are missing from here is we wanted this thing called environment, but it is not here. So one way to add the environment in is from the create menu, is to put in, let me just find it. An environment, and just click on accept. It'll pop up over here, but what we want to do is come into here. Now we have all this information. Now what I tend to do is have draw dome off. That's because I want to have a transparent background. That way I'm just getting the model that I want for my book cover, and I don't have to worry about cutting her out from the background. It's transparent. And I usually have draw ground off. My trick here is it's on at the moment so that I can do this thing with the dome rotation for my little trick with lighting, so that I don't even have to purchase external lighting. I've got this little trick that I do that makes it work really well. So then if we're happy with this and how this is set up, that's the basic settings is all I need. go File, Save as Scene, and I'll just pop it in here. I'm just going to call it my template, click on Save, accept all of that, and we are done. So now, say we want to come in and we've finished playing with one scene and we want to start a whole fresh one, what we can do is just go to this folder, open an existing file, find the one that you just saved, which is why it's important that you actually give it a decent name, and click on Open, and it's going to open it up for you. So I know not much changed for you in that video because it all looked the same, but that's just a really good little tip to get you started. And then all those settings are already there. You don't have to remember, what do I need to render it at? How do I do this? What size is it meant to be? Keeps it all the same for you. I'm going to end this video. The next one, we're actually going to bring in a model.